What is good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's happening to the market thus far and the new trend that's developing on Tesla as Tesla's finally starting to show some strength. But before I break anything down all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $500 into the account, you are guaranteed 20 free stocks. If you deposit $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 75 free stocks, and the offer ends very, very soon in just a couple of days. But anyways, when it comes to Tesla, as you guys can see, Tesla's respecting a very, very nice uptrend now, and Tesla's starting to show some strength as it's back above its critical support. So the question is, where will Tesla go from here? What do I think is going on, and what's happening with the markets thus far? Let's first talk about this. I just want to mention that there's not really a whole lot going on for Friday. The market has very, very minor data. But today we have Harker about to give a speech from the Fed, which could affect things to some extent. That's very minor, though. Right now, the market's on a very, very strong rip, and we're going to be watching how it ends up reacting. So, SPY is breaking its all time high. We're at a very, very critical level. I told everyone to watch 505.5 on SPY. If we broke that, 507 is coming, and lo and behold, we're at 507, and it's continuing to hold up nicely. Tesla is now following the trend. So there's been a very, very big adjustment to its algorithm. Basically, in the morning, Tesla started to sell off. It was very weak in the morning because we had a lot of bad news that came out involving the Gigafactory in Germany, not to mention some news about Ford and the Mach-E getting some price cuts. So that was a little negative. Tesla was weak to start us off. It is still not as strong as it could have been. Tesla easily could have run above 4% today on a day like this when SPY and the QQQ were ripping because Tesla has a beta above 2.0. So when SPY is up 2%, right, the QQQ is up about almost 3%. Tesla should be up between 4 and 6% easily. Instead, it's only up 1%, which is why it's still a little bit weak. But here's the thing, even though Tesla's not as strong as it could have been, it is still trying to follow the trend. You could see how it's trying to follow SPY, and the market is trying to push up higher, trying to get back above its resistance. So it's doing a decent job so far. It is back above 195, which is a good sign. And there is more potential for it to push if we could hold above these levels. So we're going to be watching support at 195 and also at this yellow trend line right here. Let's see if Tesla could hold that for today. Do we close above this as well? If we do, it's going to be a good sign. And if we continue to hold up, right, we could see Tesla attempts to push even higher. So I'd be watching 197.5 and then 198 is the resistance zone. And then if we keep pushing from there, watch 200. And then as far as support goes, the critical support is 195, so it doesn't really matter what it does from here. As long as it tries to hold above 195, we're going to be fine. But if we end up losing it again, it's going to be another sign of weakness. Tesla is trying to bounce. You guys can see how it dropped. They grabbed liquidity here, forming a double bottom, and we had these wicks that formed. This is where they grabbed liquidity, and we saw Tesla push from there. Overall, not bad from Tesla, pretty decent sized move. And the question is, how will it move going forward? So I think that with SPY holding up, there could be an attempt by Tesla to try to hold around this level. It may shuffle a lot, though it's not extremely strong. So it's not in that phase where it's very parabolic, getting a very big squeeze. I do think it has potential to reach that phase later. But as of right now, because of all the negative news, Tesla is still a little bit weaker than it could have been. So watch these levels. We're still kind of stuck just under 197 now, kind of shuffling a little bit. We'll see how Tesla does. Let's try to close above 195 as well. And overall, it's in a decent place. It's not extremely strong, not insanely weak to the point where it's crashing. It's just decent right now, just a little bit in the green. However, SPY, on the other hand, is extremely strong. If you look at SPY, this thing is on a tear. I told you to watch 505.5. We broke that. 507 is here. So watch this resistance at 507 to 507.5. If we break that, watch 508.5, then 510. For support, if we get a rejection, watch 505.5 as critical support and 503.5 below that. Overall, SPY is strong. It's parabolic. It's breaking its all-time highs and it's continuing to rip. As we're seeing, as we're seeing the bulls have the edge, SPY is doing a great job. And this is what's helping the market as well to some extent. The QQQ is also absolutely incredible right now because first off, I called out this resistance to be watching for. This yellow trend line was one of our resistance levels. I told you if we broke this, expect 438. If we reject it, it would come down to fill the gap. What happened? We broke this and we pushed up to 438. Very good for the QQQ. Now, it was initially kind of like shuffling around here, but now we got this breakout and we broke this high from right here, which is a sign of a change in the trend and the market structure. So for the triple Q, if this thing keeps pushing, watch this resistance right here at 439.12, followed by 440. Watch support at 438. Let's try to hold above this. If that fails us, we're going to be testing this top right here, this breakout at 437.25, followed by 436. Overall, it's bullish. It's holding up very nicely on a very, very strong uptrend. So let's see how well it holds above 438. Can we close above here? We'll just have to wait and see. So far, so good by the triple Q. For Nvda, Nvda is leading the way up. If you take a look at Nvda, we have broken past almost every resistance we had. It's still shuffling just under 780, so it got back above 775, which is a good sign. Watch 780 and 782 as resistance. If it breaks that, 790 is coming, followed by 800. If it reverses, watch 775 as support. If we lose that, I'm going to be looking at 771-ish, around that range, 770, followed by 762 around there. Overall, Nvidia is holding up nicely. It's helping the QQQ and the SPY, and it's just doing a great job at holding these all-time highs. So Nvidia is showing strength. It's on a very strong uptrend, and this is helping the QQQ. Watch it carefully. Last but not least, at least for the main five I typically go over, we have Aapl. In my video from yesterday, I told you to watch these levels, and you can see how well it's actually respecting them. Let me show you. So we had support between 178 and 180. This is where Aapl bounced off of on Tuesday, right? A nice wick formed here, which is where we got the signal of the reversal. This is them grabbing liquidity, buying for these cheap prices, and they pushed it up from there. I also told you that based off the symmetrical pattern and the bullish signals we got on Aapl, 185 should be coming. That was my target. We're actually very close to it. We basically came up, rejected a little bit yesterday, then we got this nice rip. Look at how well it respected the levels here. This is actually very beautiful. So right here, look, it popped, it came down to exactly 182.5 hours support, and it pushed. And where's the resistance? 184.25, the level I have right here, is the resistance. And now it's fighting this, it's trying to break this. So we'll see how well it does. It is kind of a tough resistance, but if it does break that, our next target is going to be this 185 zone where the previous top was. Overall, this is bullish, the overall structure. I do think it might either kind of like reject here and start pushing up, or just break out from here as SPY is helping this thing push. So either way, I do think 185 is a possibility, but we have to try to break 184.25 or even close above that. And then we're going to be looking for more potential upside for Aapl. The trend is still very strong. I'm going to go over just a couple more tickers just for fun for you guys. SPY is now at, look at this, 507.5, continuing to rip to the upside. We're seeing a parabolic, massive squeeze. Tesla's following the trend. SoFi is up, approaching 8.3, but I want to call out super micro. This is actually critical. We're approaching our resistance at 985. If we break past this, 1000 is coming, followed by 1040. If we come back down, make sure you watch 950 support, then 899 to, I'm sorry, 920 is below that, then we have 899 below that. Overall, the trend is bullish. It's still trying to push with Nvidia. It could push higher as it's squeezing with Nvidia, looking pretty good thus far. I told everyone yesterday that this thing is going to squeeze if Nvidia were to squeeze, and that's what's happening thus far. So not bad so far. The Russell 2000, IWM is about to get a bullish PPO crossover 202. 200 should be coming in 202. Watch that carefully. Looks bullish. For what else is there? Microsoft. We have another potential breakouts towards 412 as resistance. We have 411 and 412, that range. If that breaks, 415 is next. Just a couple more. We also have Coinbase looking bullish. If we continue to break out this resistance at 170, watch 172, followed by 175. So far, it's looking bullish. And if 175 breaks, 180 is next. Google's looking pretty okay. Not extremely strong, though. It's barely holding the support, so we have to hold 144. Otherwise, it might just trade sideways. Looking kind of sideways. Amazon breakout is looking very strong. It's breaking out with Nvidia. Going to be looking for 175.3 to be tested. And then for support, watch 173 for Meta, and then 172.5 below that. For Meta, we're approaching 490, continuing to break out. It's looking extremely strong. So watch resistance very, very close to that range. If we break that, 492.5 is next, followed by 495. Overall, if it keeps breaking, if we get above 495 also, I think 500 is coming. Meta's looking strong, looking bullish. Tech is following the trend, and we're on a very, very big breakout on SPY. We're continuing to soar. This is a parabolic squeeze, and Tesla is trying to play a game of catch up. So for Tesla, like I said, It's trying to follow the trend. It's not as strong as what it was like before because of this negative news, but I still have faith in it. I want to see this thing hold up and at least close above 195, and Tesla's going to be in a decent place. All right, guys, with that being said, thank you for listening. I hope these levels were very helpful. Have a great day. I'll be back after the market closes. Take care, guys. Do what you have to do, and please, please, please stay safe out there. Be careful with your trading. Have a great day, guys. Don't let your winners work against you, because you should not become overconfident or let it kind of change your view when it comes to your trading. Always try to be unbiased and always try to be cool. That's like my set of advice for people out there. Even on those very, very big days where you have crazy, crazy wins, do not become overconfident. Always be logical with your trades and be careful, and don't use that as an excuse to not manage risks properly. Not financial advice, it's just a couple of words of wisdom I can give you. I'll talk more about that later. Have a great day and peace out.